Welcome. This is MoneyHeart, where we explore the emotional side of money. I'm Camille Diaz, and today we're discussing Suddenly Widowed. My guest is Margo Bush. Dr. Margo Bush is an influential senior business analyst, consultant, coach, speaker, and serial entrepreneur who is passionate about helping business owners thrive. As founder of consulting firms Don't Do Business Alone and Don't Do Church Alone, Margo empowers small business owners and pastors with the in-depth analysis, practical solutions, and mindset coaching they need to successfully grow their organization in an ever-changing economy. She is the author of inspirational business book Dream Big, Live Big, and is dedicated to equipping business owners with what it takes, not just to survive, but to truly thrive in the marketplace. Margo, welcome to MoneyHeart.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
You are welcome. I'm very glad you're here. We had a little bit of a spoiler in the title. We know Suddenly Widowed, so we kind of know at some point you became a widow, and it wasn't expected, and I know you weren't very old when it happened. So will you kind of share that story with us? What happened there?
I sure will, because I love to. I think it helps so many people. I was only 49 when I became a widow. Nobody ever expects that. I think that I felt like, what is happening? Life was not supposed to go this way.
Mhm.
And to step back a little bit, my husband and I, we pastored churches for more than 28 years. And so our past, present, and future was kind of set out. We raised our boys. We were kind of in the middle. I had a senior in high school, and we had plans for our future. And that was really cut short one evening when I was at work. We also owned a publishing company, small publishing company. And so I was at work late one night, and I got a phone call. And the man on the other end of the line said, are you Miss Bush? And I said, yes, I am. He said, are you Bill Bush's wife? And I said, yes, I am. Is Bill and Casey okay? Which is, my son and husband. And he said, well, that's what we want to talk about. Are you about ready to come home? And I said, yes. He said, all right, just make your way home. Go slow and don't rush. I'll be here when you get here. Click.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Was right.
Yeah.
I ran around our building. We had 4,200 square feet of publishing equipment. So I ran around, turned all the lights off. Everybody was gone home. And I made my about 15-minute drive home, which seemed like an eternity. And you can only imagine all the thoughts that come in my head. And at this time, I had no idea what I was, why I was going to be, coming home. I didn't know if, there was drugs involved, if, somebody had beat up somebody, which had never happened in our family, but, you just go, your mind goes crazy.
Right.
And so there were so many emergency, cars in my neighborhood that it just really lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh. I drove into I had to park in my neighbor's driveway. The police formed a gauntlet to my car door. When I got out, a sheriff met me and said, are you Miss Bush? Are you Bill Bush's wife? Yes. He escorted me up to the front door, where I was met by a detective. And then a chaplain met me. And I could see that my family was there, which was weird. And he began to let me know that my husband was dead. I didn't know it at the time, and nor did they, that he had had a massive heart attack that morning. And 9 hours later, my son found him.
Oh, gosh.
Of course, none of that at the time. So you don't know if something's happened, if there was, foul play, if, anyway. But I do remember thinking that Just at that moment, I don't know why, but I just thought how important all of the memories and all of my past was, and how important it was that we had done what we had done, and been partners in life, and all the things that we had really enjoyed in life. Uh, I really knew at that moment my future was going to change desperately,
Mm-hmm.
um, because we were not prepared, and that was my present. I knew, just even, I know it's crazy that you would be in grief, but I knew that my life insurance policy was sitting on my desk and I had not signed it,
Oh no. The renewal.
the renewal.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember, it just, even at that moment, I remember hearing Bill tell me, honey, you need to sign this life insurance policy. And so as a result, I had no life insurance. I had no, what at that moment, I mean, in the next few years, a few months, I realized, you have to go to work and you don't know what to do, and the grief sets in.
Yeah.
So that you don't expect, I think the thing is that you go along in life and you think if anything happens, you'll be okay.
Mm.
Because I mean, we all as parents or husband and wife, we think everything's going to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
because we're strong right then at that moment.
Sure.
I'd always worked. I'd always had, good relationships with friends and family and stuff like that. But
Mm.
here's what you don't realize is that begins to, grief happens,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
can't think. You can't think. I can remember I can remember weeks would go by and I didn't even know the week had gone by,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you're in, first of all, such shock because it was so
Right.
unexpected. There was no reason. I mean, I look back now and think, yeah, his health was bad, but nothing that made me think that anything was going to happen.
Right. Yeah, and it's not like he'd been sick for months and then this was kind of the end. It was just all of a sudden
Yeah, it
that
was.
that one day. So it sounds
Yeah,
like you left and went to work and the kids went to school and he was home and never made it out, kind of a thing.
yeah, that's what happened, is
Yeah.
that the night before we had gone to dinner and we were out late. And so when my car was at the office, and so he said, Casey will take you to work in the morning when he goes to school. And so let's just leave the car at the office.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
got up early with my son, and when he went to work, he dropped me off at work. When
Mm-hmm.
he went to
He went
school,
to
he dropped me
school.
off at work.
Yeah, dropped you off at work on his
So
way.
there was no reason for me. And sometimes Bill would come into the office, sometimes he would work at home. So I had tried to call him a couple of times, but it wasn't abnormal that,
Mhm.
that I didn't get a hold of him. I kind of thought, where is he? But, he's working.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that kind of usual understanding between couples of I'll call you if I need you, kind of
yeah,
a
right.
thing. Otherwise, I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is usually how we operate. Not too worried about what's going on until we get home in the evening. Wow. So did you guys have like an emergency fund or any savings or anything like that built up that you could use for a little while?
Not enough to speak of. We just, I don't know, we just, I mean, some, but nothing that would last. You have some, but nothing that would last, and nothing that you could count on. And so I mean, as a result, I went to work. I was scared, very scared.
Mhm.
um, I was, I didn't know what was going to happen. I had never worked without him. I was married when I was 20, and we went to work, and, we pastored churches, and we, there were great times, and then there were lean times.
Right.
And just like any other family.
Mhm.
And so you just always think, you just don't think 49 is going to be it.
Right.
And so you just keep planning, and we weren't really from families that planned,
Mm.
for the future.
Mhm.
So it wasn't really something that we talked about too much. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, it's
almost
just
like,
not really a high on your priority list of things.
well, what is sad is that it wasn't. That is what's sad.
Mm.
It's sad that you just go to work and you keep working, and it's just not something that's on your mind or at the forefront. Now, probably I mean, of course it was with Bill, because he told me to sign the life insurance policy, but I can't say that I really paid attention that much.
Yeah.
And I think that that is a big mistake.
Mm.
Now I pay really close attention.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's just not, I think that's the problem. And that's what I see even now as I work with businesses and business owners.
Yeah. So in your company, you help business owners to get really good at running their business so that they're successful. How often when they come to you, are they in the same exact place as you? They're going to work every day, but they don't have any backup plan, emergency fund, life insurance, nothing in place. How often do you see that happen?
Well, let me tell you, to answer that question, I'm going to take you on a little bit of journey.
Okay.
A little bit of between the time that I started Don't Do Business Alone, which is my company now. I worked for Global Resources, one of the largest small business consulting firms in North America. And I worked there for about a year as a senior business analyst, because they train business analysts. Now, here's why they do that. They are $1 billion company, and 90%, if not higher, are business owners that are not prepared. Their finances are not prepared. Their books are not prepared. Their taxes are not prepared. I know, I went and did analysis for companies from coast to coast. I would leave my home on Sunday, fly into a city, West Coast, West Coast, East Coast, didn't matter. And I would be there 2.5 days. I'd fly out and I'd go to another business and do the very same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say 90, I know it's higher, but 90% of the businesses that I coach, even today, and I coached then, do not have their financial or anything in place that's
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
They're small business owners. That's the thing, is that you're small business owners, and so you're working so hard that it's almost the last thing you think of. And here's the other thing I also believe, is that we're not educated enough.
Mm.
If somebody had to come and sat down and really press the issue. So I say this to you, pressing the issue and calling again and
Right.
coming and getting in our face again and sitting with us again, because it's not something that's you just are thinking about constantly. It's like the last thing that you want to deal with, because you've got so much else as a small business owner to deal with,
You
like
do.
making money, creating revenue, and increasing your profits.
Right.
And
Right.
so,
And if you have a family at home, that might be all your brain is just filled with just doing that, because we have a mortgage to pay and bills and kids and tuition or whatever we've got going on. So
that's right.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I know you're laughing when you say that to me, because you know that I do that for a living and
Yes,
help people
you
set up
do.
their financial stuff and make
You
sure they
do.
have life insurance. And you're 100% right. A lot of the times they're like, nope, time out, don't want to talk to you, that kind of a thing, because they're just overwhelmed with other things that are going on.
That's
But
right.
you're so right. When we don't have that protection piece in place and something goes sideways, it's really hard to recover. Really hard. Yeah.
It's hard to recover. You're not expecting the things that you're faced with.
Mhm.
So that would have just been one thing. I mean, literally, I was looking at living under a bridge with a teenager. That is how serious it was.
Mhm.
I was a small business owner. I had been a pastor's wife all my life and really did not know, I mean, what am I going to do? Go to work as what? I mean, as a as a manager, as a working at McDonald's. I mean, that wasn't going to take care of my family,
Right.
and it was not going to be able to take care of the lifestyle that I was used to living. So what I did was I chose to take a hold of a business that I didn't really know how to run. All I can say is through a course of miracle events, a man came across my path that was a businessman, and he literally held my hand and taught me how to do business.
And this
Because
was
that
your
is,
publishing company that you ran with?
yes, that was the publishing company, and never in a million years did I think that I was going to begin to coach businesses, not even feel like I was qualified. But after spending, about 4 years in an apprentice program, and then coaching businesses across the country, and then realizing that really what I did was I coached people for 28, 30 years of my pastoral career.
Yes.
And, when you put the two together, I actually have been in coaching. I've been coaching people for, gosh, more than 40 years, 3 decades,
Yes.
4 decades.
And I love that you point that out. Is I think a lot of times when we're in small business, we feel like, oh, nobody's going to want to buy from me or listen to me or whatever because I'm brand new at this business. But when we take a look at what we've been doing our entire lifetime,
Yeah.
we've probably been working in that same field or that same way. We've just kind of tweaked it a little bit for a particular niche or product or whatever it is we're doing now. But we're still us and we've still been doing that thing. So just like you say, I've been coaching people for 30, 40 years. I had the same experience. I've been teaching people for, I don't know, 20, 25 years, something like that. I've just taught in different areas and different specialties, but I've been teaching the whole time and I love it. So yeah.
Well, it's so true. And business owners that I coach every day, you can always see a thread, and you're gonna move towards that thread. It's just that I didn't see it at the time, and nobody taught me and said, you know what, I've been coaching and I've been teaching for 30 years. I took my first church. Well, Bill and I took our first church when I was 20, and right out of being married. So, and then now all of the coaching and consulting, it's just in a different vein, but you can usually see the thread of your career if you just look at it. It started back then, and it's probably continuing.
Right. And that's the advantage of working with a coach or a mentor or somebody that has that outside view, because sometimes we can't see our own thread. We can't see that continuity. We can't see that thing we've been pulled to every business that we've run, but it's there. And when you get the outside view, they can go, well, it seems like you love this. And you go, oh my gosh, I do love that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
So much easier. Mhm.
Yes, and I think a coach, and I find this to be true, that really you never know, and I say this almost every single time when I first bring on a new client or I begin to coach, is that the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the value of you, because I promise you, you don't see it.
Right.
And
Yep.
I've never met anyone that they do that, that they really see the value of not only them and the product that they can bring to the client, their product, their career, their experience. And that is so rare that I've ever find anybody that feels like really that they're worth it, that what they're bringing. And so that's the value of of a coach. We can see what you can't see.
Right. Yeah. I love
We can
working
help
with
you go to
coaches.
the next level. That's definitely for sure.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. So tell us a little bit, how does Don't Do Business Alone work? It's a little bit different than the traditional coaching model.
Yes, I started a subscription membership for $99 as soon as we're building out some software. So as soon as the software releases, we'll be able to provide $39, $59, and $99 membership subscriptions. Some of that will be online, chat, and email. But my particular and my most popular coaching program is the 99, where we coach businesses. They can come in to the coaching program. They they have unlimited opportunity to talk to a coach. We can usually answer a question that you have in 20 or 30 minutes, and you can call back the next day if you want to. But then through that, what I found out is that not only does it gives an opportunity for every business owner to afford coaching, but it also helps them to learn to trust us. That if they're listening to us and we're giving them good advice and education and growing their business, then they will want to trust us as we to go into one of our other programs that I usually feel that they need to. We have a 1-year apprentice program that most all of my business owners end up going into because they want to go to 6 figures, or they want to, I always say 6 figures plus. So if they're at 6 figures, they'll go plus another 6, or they'll go to 6 figures. And that's a 1-year program. But we have other programs, even all in between there: marketing, design, branding. And but I love that $99 program because it gets business owners in, and they can ask questions. They don't have to do business alone. They've got somebody that's got their back, and we have, good answers to to questions. I always say, we have, if you've got questions, we have answers.
Nice.
And over my career, I probably haven't, in any industry, it's because coaching is about building the foundation of a business properly and having a strategic plan, which includes a lot of what you offer as well, because all of it is we want to build a good, solid business that will last a lifetime.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or beyond, if somebody wants to pass it down. So that's
absolutely. Legacy is everything, So we go from infancy to legacy and everything in between. So it doesn't matter where a business is at. We pick up right where you're at and begin to build a strategic plan. And we begin to answer questions that we all have. We all have questions, no matter where we're at. And we want to be the coach and the mentor that cares about your success, and cares about you, and it cares about creating results. That was my big thing. I wanted to create results because I knew how desperately I needed results. It wasn't, don't just coach me. I don't want to live under a bridge with a teenager. You've got to make results happen.
Right.
And that's what we deliver.
That's fabulous. Tell us a little bit about your book.
It is called Dream Big, Live Big. I'm so proud of it. It's been years of coming. It is a little bit about my story, and it's a little bit about business. So I combined the two so that when a business owner comes to me, and this was really why I wrote it, when a new business owner comes to me, it helps me kind of have a heads up. I can give them my book, and it'll tell about my story. And then it'll tell some of the basics of business that really I see are very new. I really believe that statistically, 3% of this country creates more wealth than all 97% combined. 50% of businesses that open today will be closed in 1 year. It used to be, Forbes magazine said 3 years. It's now 1 year. That is a real problem in this country. I believe that the way that we've been taught modern day business in this country is mathematically flawed, and I can prove it, and we're doing something about it. And we teach what every small business owner doesn't know, or is having a problem with, or hasn't having challenges with. And we stick with them until they get the results that they need.
I love it. That's
so
awesome.
My book is, a lot of the basics. It's for the business owner that wants to grow. It's for women who really have challenges in their life. A lot of them are having to take care of their children, and both parents aren't in the picture. And so a lot of women are having challenges, and they're struggling, and they have their own business, whether it's being an independent rep for a company, or they own their own company, but they need some help in creating revenue and increasing their profits. And what does that really mean? Most of the time, they don't even know what that really means.
Sure.
And so we get in there and we help them.
Awesome.
So the book is all about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love it. I think that's fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Margo can be reached through her website, don'tdobusinessalone.com, or via email at drmargo@don'tdobusinessalone.com. That's drmargo@don'tdobusinessalone.com. Thank you as well to all our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Camille Diaz. This show is sponsored by Serenity Financial, a Five Rings financial agency specializing in financial education, life insurance with living benefits, and guaranteed lifetime income. Be sure to follow MoneyHeart on social media at MoneyHeart Show, and on our website, moneyheartshow.com. Today's money mantra, Margo has chosen the title of her book, Dream Big, Live Big.
Thank you.
Thank you.